Hi, everybody. I've been watching YouTube videos for years just to learn how to cook. And I decided, I think I can do that too. And at the same time, answer the number one question in my household: Dad, what's for dinner? Well, tonight for dinner, we're going to have the scourge of elementary school kids and, TV dinners from the 80s. We're going to take our stab at Salisbury Steak. So we're also going to do some mashed potatoes with that. And then I just got a loaf of Italian bread. We'll cut that up, throw some butter on it. Um, we're going to start off. I'm going to just get the mashed potatoes going. So what I've got here is just 1.5 pounds little Yukon Gold potatoes. Those are so small, I'm not even going to bother cutting them up. I put about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of water in the Instant Pot. Throw my lid on. Now, this Instant Pot's kind of nice. I don't have to worry about a valve. When you close it, it closes the valve automatically. And we're going to do pressure cooker. And we're going to do custom. And I'm going to go probably 6 minutes on this. So we'll go ahead and get this started. And there's the first part underway already. Okay, then the rest of the meal we're going to make kind of in 2 different components. The first is going to be the Salisbury steak itself. Got about 1.5 pounds of ground beef here. About a 1/2 cup, 3/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. There's a tablespoon of parsley. And then about the equivalent of half of a diced onion. I ran out of onion making the stuff for the onion gravy. So this is actually some dehydrated onion that I had. Just add a little water to it, let it come up. Since it's getting mixed into these patties, it won't matter all that much. We'll also probably throw a little bit of salt, pepper, and some red pepper flakes into the patties just to give them a little more flavor. And then once those get cooked off, then we'll move into making the mushroom onion gravy. So that's going to start with some butter, 1/4 cup of flour. We're going to have, a small package of mushrooms that I've sliced up, half of an onion, 4 cups of beef stock, 3 cloves of garlic that we'll mince up, and about 3 tablespoons of butter. And we'll make that gravy, and then we'll take the patties and we'll put them back in, and it'll just sit and cook for a while, and then we'll have our answer to the question: Dad, what's for dinner? Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll get started by making our patties here. Relatively simple. Like I said, we've got about 1.5 pounds of ground chuck, about the equivalent of half an onion here. This was dehydrated. I just hydrated it back up. A tablespoon of parsley, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, our breadcrumbs. Then we need an egg. And I'm going to give it some salt. Some pepper. And for just a little bit of extra flavor, a little bit of crushed red pepper. For my family, I can't go too heavy with that. We're not big spice people, but a little bit just kind of makes all those flavors pop. Now for this, we just go in here with our hands, mix it all up, and then we'll form a couple patties. So I like to just break that egg and then go to town and get everything incorporated. You want those breadcrumbs mixed through this, and that's what will help create the patties. They'll stay together. So kind of pretty similar to a meatloaf. Other than meatloaf, you would have milk in here. And also kind of similar to meatballs. Maybe the difference there is that I know with my meatballs, I always like to put some ricotta cheese in. So there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to make this into 4 patties. So kind of put it in half, put it in half again. Okay. And then grab this You want to just form these kind of into half-inch patties, kind of oval in shape is how I do it. And then just make sure that you're consistent with all of them so they'll all kind of cook at the same rate. Okay, so I'm going to finish making these patties, and then we will get our pan heated up, and we'll bring you back when it's time to start cooking them. Okay, welcome back. I've got our patties all made, kind of washed my hands up a little bit, got our burner going. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of brown or sear these patties on both sides, just a couple minutes on each side to build up some nice crust on them. Then we'll pull these off and we'll move into making our gravy. Okay, so pretty simple, just straightforward. And again, this is why you want to try and be consistent with the thickness on these so that they'll generally cook all at the same rate. Okay, so we'll let these go, and I'll bring you back when we do the first flip. Okay, welcome back. Our patties are moving along here. I think they're ready for the first flip. So we'll go ahead and turn them over. And that's exactly what we want to see. We got a good sear on that side. We'll give these another 2-3 minutes on the second side. And then, like I said, we'll pull them off and we'll move into making our gravy. Okay, I think we've got our other side done here. So I'm going to lower my heat a little bit. And I'm going to pull these off and just let them rest in this other tray. Just like that. And as you just heard, the Instant Pot went off telling me that our potatoes are done and ready to be mashed. Okay, but now let's start out. We'll move on to the gravy. I'm going to begin with putting my onion in the same pot or pan that we did the steaks in. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. And we're just going to want to get these starting to saute and breaking down. After these go for a little bit, then we'll add our garlic and we'll let that get fragrant. That takes about a minute. And then we'll add the mushrooms. They don't take very long to kind of soften up. And then we'll move on to basically putting in the gravy components. So just kind of work these onions a little bit. They'll give off a little liquid, but I think that's good. So I'm going to make a little landing spot here. Get my garlic. Get my garlic press. Okay, and I like to just give a little oil that helps keep the garlic from burning very fast when you put it in. And boom. There's our garlic. And then just kind of let that go till you really can smell it. It should be really flavorful, nice garlic smell when that's ready to go. Yeah, that's smelling good. Get it mixed in with our onions. Okay. And then we'll bring our mushrooms in here. Okay, that was just a small package of baby Bella mushrooms. I pulled the stems out, kind of sliced them thin. And it looks, like a good amount right now, but mushrooms will cook down and it should be pretty even to the onion. So we'll give these a minute. I'm also going to help this along a little bit. Give it a little butter. Those mushrooms have kind of already soaked up all the drippings from the meat that we had in there before. So that butter's just going to help us make sure these don't burn and they're actually breaking down the way we need them to. Okay. I'm also going to take this opportunity, just a little salt. Little pepper. You know, I should also point out, when you see me doing a couple twists of this pepper, this is like a high capacity pepper mill. So, you know, one twist of that is probably equal to 4 or 5 twists of a normal pepper grinder. So, you know, don't let the number of times that I twist that around kind of be an indication of how much I'm using. That was probably a 1/4 teaspoon in those 3 cranks. Okay, these mushrooms are coming along pretty well. I'm going to give them another couple minutes. We'll bring you back when we're ready to add the flour and the remaining liquids. Okay, I think our mushrooms have gotten to the point where they're ready to go. The onions look good. So now I'm going to begin you know, kind of making the actual gravy portion. I'm going to start out. This is 3 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to hold a little bit back. I don't want this to be a thick gravy. So I want to put in about 2 tablespoons of it. See how this looks. And we'll go from there, right? I just want enough to thicken the gravy a little bit. But you know, not like really thick, like with the chicken pot pie that we did the other day. Okay, and just like in that video, you know, once you put that flour in, give it about a minute to cook the raw taste out of it. It'll start to smell kind of nutty and fragrant, and then you know you're ready to add your liquids. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay, we've got the flour cooked out. More importantly, I had a cat attacking the tripod, so I had to get her away before you guys took a spill, but now we're ready to go ahead and put our liquids in. So this is 4 cups of beef stock that I'm going to throw in here. And I've also got a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then we'll get this back up to temp. The other thing, you won't be able to see it here, but once you put that stock in, on the bottom of the pan, right, there was all kinds of what they call fawn down there. It's you know, some of the leftovers from charring the meat. Lots of flavor in that. So when you put the liquid in, that'll cause that to release. So number 1, it helps you clean your pans up, which is great. But number 2, it adds, you know, more flavor to, you know, in this case, the mushroom and onion gravy that we're making. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to let this heat up a little bit, thicken a little bit, and then we'll add our Salisbury steaks back in, and they will just cook in the gravy for about 20 minutes, and we'll be ready to throw dinner on the table. So we'll check back in just a minute. Okay, welcome back. We've got our onion mushroom gravy here kind of up to temp. And now what I want to do is just add back my steaks and put them in gently. They are not fully cooked, so if you're not gentle here, they could break apart on you, and you don't want that. Okay, and I want to reduce my heat. I don't want these to necessarily boil. I kind of want them more to simmer. We don't have a lot of drippings here in the pan, but I'll scrape that down. We'll just add those 2. Get this out of the way. Okay, now these are just going to kind of simmer in this gravy for about the next 20-25 minutes. And I'm going to throw a lid on it. Okay. So we will let this go. But like I also said, we've got our potatoes done. So let's go ahead and deal with those. Okay. And as you know, I like to send my potatoes through a ricer. So we'll just kind of grab a couple of these out of here. Like I said, these were awfully small, so put those in there. Give it a squeeze. And go back for some more. Okay, so there our potatoes are riced. And while they were cooking, I also just had back there on the stove some heavy cream and half a stick of butter, probably about a cup and a half, 2 cups. Now, I'm not going to use all of it at first. I'm going to hold a little back, pour that in, work it into our mashed potatoes until you get to the consistency that you want. Remember, you don't want to work these very hard. That'll make them gummy, so just kind of fold them around. And I think these need a little more. Yeah, I think that's going to nail it. Perfect. Now the other thing I'm going to do, mashed potatoes always need a heavy dose of salt. So we'll get that worked in. Just a little bit more. And a little bit more. All right, and there you have it. Mashed potatoes are done. Our Salisbury steak has about 15-20 minutes to go here. And then it's just slicing up some bread and we'll have dinner ready to go. We'll bring you back when it's all done. Okay, everything's done cooking here. I just cut the heat off. So what we have now is our Salisbury steak. You can go back in, get some additional mushrooms and onions on that. A serving of our mashed potatoes. A couple of slices of bread. And there you have it. Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes. My answer to the question, Dad, what's for dinner? Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.